In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a real-time security app just with few steps. This is actually captured in the recent blog, and this video will go through the details. So first, let's see the demo first. Right now, we are in a Slack channel, and we can send a message as usual, but if you send some sensitive information with potential information leak, such as mentioning the password or token, then you can see within the same second, the message will be deleted. And similarly, if you mention other sensitive information such as AWS token, this will be removed. And if you say send a very long message, and this will be a reminder that is, please don't send a message which is too long. Some other interesting features, such as you can detect whether the person is repeated themselves. This is just a very simple example, but to show how we can not just handle the message one by one, but also can understand what's the context. So if you mention something like, simple example, then you can see this the system will detect don't send the same message over and over again. In some cases, you might want to prevent the user share confidential information as a file. Right? Then this file also will be scanned and removed. This is just a simple example, but this demonstrates how powerful the system is, and they can process message in the same second, doing sophisticated processing, not just event one by one, but also can understand the context. In this video, I'm going to show you how this can be made just with a few lines of code. Okay, there's only 3 major steps. You only need to get data in and send those Slack activity into templates in our data streams. Then you build a few templates streaming CQs to define your logic. And finally, you define a set of actions to calling AWS Lambda to either delete a message or send a reminder or do other sophisticated actions. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, the first step is to load data into templates. So I provide a sample Python code to demonstrate how easy it is to load the data message from the Slack API and send to the templates. Templates provide Python SDK, and other language branding is work in progress. So this demonstrates that is you only needed to leverage the RTM, which is real-time message API from Slack, and collect all the channel information, the chatting activities. Then when the message is received, then you can send them into templates using such an easy API to insert the data into templates. Then let's check how the message looks like. Okay, in templates, we already have those data available in the streams. Then let's just explore the data. And if you check this template Slack event, this is the law event. And then let's send some test message and see how the event flow into the templates. Say I put a message. You can see almost immediately the message is captured into templates and in a JSON format. We provide a nice JSON-based view. For example, each message has a message type with the channel, with other message informations. Then we can run the queries on top of the message. To query the data, you can use the JSON functions in templates. For example, you can see that this is the way to collect all the information from the JSON message. You can always use the JSON extract functions directly in the streaming CQ, but in many cases, this will make the CQ too long. So what we recommend is to define a view and put all the JSON extract function in the view so that you can just query the data as if it's a regular structured table. So for example, we define a view called the Slack event. It will do all the data transformation, extraction, and you can just query this Slack underscore events as just a regular streams. And even you can do certain like stream-to-stream joining and define them as a view. For example, in our case, we create a new view called Slack. It will get data from this Slack event and also do the inner joining with the other stream, which is the Slack user, to mapping the user ID with the name. So let's take a look. So first, let's check the Slack event. And if I type some message again, you can see it still gets the raw JSON message from the Slack API. But what you can see is a straightforward table. And you can also get the user name instead of just showing the user ID. Now this is actually a joint result by look up the username from the other data stream. Okay, now we finished the first step, which is load data into templates. We even define some views to make the future data processing a little bit easier. Then the next step is define your security logic as CQ. Let's check some of the sample queries. In this page, we list 6 CQs. Let's take an example to detect whether the user mentioned any sensitive AWS resource. For example, if the user send a message and talk about the particular AWS AIN, then the message will be removed because it's highly confidential information. Let's see how this is developed. We go to the query page, start a new query. This query simply checks whether the text message match certain pattern. It includes AWS 12-digit AWS ID as well as the key. For example, if I mention the AWS token like this perfectly match this pattern. And when you run it, and we can test whether this message is detected, yes. So for every matching event, this will be a new result. Then the next step is to trigger a Lambda function by using our built-in webhook. As we mentioned, the data is processed in our streaming CQ, and for whatever matching event, it can able to trigger the webhook. And the webhook will be calling AWS Lambda, and the Lambda will be able to either delete a message or send a reminder. And this is actually a very simple Python-based Lambda. As you can see, this Lambda expects a column called the TP action and TP message, which is the message we are going to send to the user to reminder don't share confidential information. And we can just call in the REST API from the Slack to either delete a message or post a new message. All you need is a Slack token, and you can generate a URL for this Lambda function. You simply set a webhook as the type of the sink and put the link in. For more example of how powerful our streaming CQ is, please check this blog, Top 10 Streaming CQ Patterns. In this blog, I list more detail about different patterns, also using this Slack real-time security app as an example. Feel free to check our blog and as well as our documentation. Okay, that's all the 3 steps. You only needed to load data into templates, then define a bunch of streaming CQs as the security rule, and finally trigger AWS Lambda as the action. You may learn more details about our products by checking our website as well as our documentation. Welcome to join our beta program too to try yourself. See you next time.